Welcome back to Good Day Columbia. Timer now is 8:13. It hasn't happened yet, but pretty soon a South Carolina native with top NFL honors will be inducted into the South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame. Let's take a look at his highlight reel. His 12-year professional career included 6 seasons with the Seahawks, 5 with the San Diego Chargers, and 1 with the Detroit Lions. He started at quarterback for the Chargers in Super Bowl 29 and recorded 571 total tackles in his 148 career games. Wow. Joining us now is none other than Dwayne Harper. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you, man. Wow. You know, Dwayne, you were one of the fortunate ones. You got to play football. You were drafted.
Right.
How did you get into football? How did you start the love for it?
My father, my dad, he introduced me to football, and you know, he played college football, and it just took off from there, and you know, played ever since.
You were a star player at SC State, playing defensive back, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
What do you remember the most about your time at State?
I think probably starting my first year, the first game I started in was probably the second game of the season, and playing against a guy who played, I can't remember his name, he played for the San Francisco 49ers, but he was one of the best to play the game, and starting against a senior, going against a senior receiver, and ended up having 2 interceptions in that game, and it took off from there.
And you remember, so take us back to the moment, speaking about taking off, that you were drafted. What do you remember telling yourself?
Really, I just wanted an opportunity to go to camp. I knew I had the ability to play on that level, and I just wanted that one opportunity to get into someone's camp, because I was 11th rounder. Usually 11th rounder, you go to a camp and you come back home. You go back home. But I was fortunate enough to go there, to go to camp and show myself and show my talents, and made the squad in Seattle. And
the rest is history. So Seattle, coming from Orangeburg, South Carolina at the time, going to Seattle, what was that transition like?
It was a big change, especially going to HBCU,
right,
and going to Seattle, where you know, the population is majority white, and but you know, you take, you know, the things that your parents have taught you, the college, you know, the university have taught you, and you know, with those things, I was able to fit in and worked out fine. It was great. I had a great time living in Seattle.
So you played for the Seahawks, the Chargers, and the Lions. Is there a particular team you like the most? If I could put you on the spot.
I guess, you know, the ultimate goal for an NFL player is to play in the Super Bowl.
Okay,
and, so it will be the San Diego Chargers. They call them the LA Chargers, but they'll always be the San Diego Chargers to me. But, you know, when you can reach that goal of going to the Super Bowl with a group of guys, that's the ultimate dream. And
you did that. You were Super Bowl 29.
Super Bowl 29.
So 29. Do you remember some of those plays in your head? Or do you remember what it was like?
I do. You know, the 49ers scored very fast on us, and it was just a fast game where, you know, when you play in the Super Bowl, everything's moving faster. So you know, it was, you know, we ended up losing, but you know, it was
that experience. You can say you played the Super Bowl.
We had a great time, because I know guys I know Hall of Famers, NFL Hall of Famers who never played in the Super Bowl, but I got that opportunity to play in the Super Bowl.
Look at that. So on Monday, you'll be inducted into the South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame. Has that honor sunk in yet?
Yeah, you know, anytime, you know, I guess it has. Anytime you're recognized by the state of South Carolina as being one of the best, you know, athletes, you know, from the state, it's really a great feeling, and I'm quite sure I'll feel it more come Monday night.
So somebody else who's getting honored is former football coach Steve Spurrier.
Right.
So you're being honored like NFL great, another NFL great.
Right. Well, I guess, you know, Coach Spurrier, you know, he's considered one of the best, you know. And I told someone, I was like, hey, I'm going in with Coach Spurrier with that class. So to me, that's even bigger.
Yeah,
that's a big honor.
So it's happening on Monday, the South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame banquet on Monday at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Folks, sorry to say the banquet is sold out, so there's no more room. It starts at 5, but of course, well, doors open at 5, but it begins at 6 p.m. So anything else that you want to add, Dwayne?
I want to present you something
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
do. I do.
All right.
I brought
okay.
you.
What did you
I
bring,
brought
Dwayne?
you I'm fumbling.
Okay.
I brought you a Seahawks football.
Oh, man. Look at. Oh, man, Dwayne, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, Seattle
You're one of the
Seahawks.
best.
And it's signed, you see? It's signed by Dwayne. Dwayne, thank you so
But what
much.
does it say?
It says, to Fraendy, the best news anchor in the Metro. Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you so much. Wow. Dad, Mom, I made it. Look, the NFL player gave me a football. Well, that is so good. Dwayne, again, congratulations for you. And thank you also for being a light and showing other young men that this can be done and that you could play ball and go to the NFL.
True.
So that's really
True.
good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Folks, stay with us. There's more Good Day Columbia coming up after the break. I'm going to enjoy this football right over here, man. Okay.